Well, what a match. Lots and lots of scoring. So, first board, um, there was an interesting thing that happened in the bidding that caused one of the teams to sort of be unable to get to their game. Um, and let's look at that because these things happen. These things happen. Um, we got a 15-point hand. It's a nice hand, right? It's got lots of aces, and king 10, beautiful little spade suit. It needs a little help, but could be very nice with an honor or two for partner. And we'll open it, one spade. Now, what does West bid? West doesn't have a bid. I mean, it seems unfortunate sometimes that we don't have a bid, but sometimes we don't have a bid. So West has 6, 8, 10, 11 points. And where they would really like to be is, they'd like to see maybe North-South playing spades. But they don't have a suit to bid, and they don't have enough points to bid no trump. This is not where you make a double, which is what happened at the table. A double here is proclaiming shortness in spades and let your partner rely on that shortness in making a bid. Okay, so there is no bid to be made by West. It's a balanced little hand with a lot of queens and jacks and aces. It might be a good defensive hand, but there's nothing to start to get into the bidding with here. Then we get a two-spade bid here. And then we get to a situation where South wants to make a game try. And there's a number of different ways to make game tries. I think we've gone over this before. The one game try that might make sense here is when we're worried about our trump. And that's when if we have other ways to make game tries, if we can make a help suit game try, if we can make a short suit game try, if we can make those kind of game tries, then it's nice to be able to use just one spade, two spade, three spade as saying, I'm going to need a little help in the trump suit, and go from there. But here you make some sort of game try. Let's say they make a help suit game try, saying I have queen or better, and plus 3 cards in South, and I need some help in the diamond suit. Gets to North, they have 9 points, right? Every help suit game try is an invitation, right? So with 9 points you accept. You don't even need to look at the diamond suit. 9 points you accept that. All right, so that gets there. What happened at the other table was once we get the double in, we get into a really hard situation to bid. Right? We get this off-shaped takeout double, and then North really has to do some thinking. They've got 9 points, but it doesn't really quite look invitational, right? It doesn't quite look invitational. But over a double, they've got to bid something, right? So if they decide it's constructive, they just bid 2 spades. If they were to decide at that point that it was an invitational bid, they might want to redouble. And a redouble there would be saying, I've got a pretty good hand over here, and I've got at least 10 points. This puts this person on the chopping block. They'll probably bid their hearts, right? South, with nothing more to add at this point, waiting to see what his partner has, just passes. This person will pass, and then we'll get the spade bid. Now the combination of the redouble, saying I have pretty much 9, 10, 11 points, an invitational like hand, then followed by 2 spades actually says that I have an invitational hand with 2. And this auction will then get you to the game that was missed at this table. So it's a shame. Very difficult to bid over doubles. So the interference did the job of throwing the auction off track, because otherwise I think it gets the game. Okay, so board 2, and we had some fireworks here. And again, maybe they shouldn't have happened. This was an awkward hand. And we saw yet again another takeout double I'm not terribly fond of. This one less so than the other. But again, a takeout double primarily says I have shortness, right? You'll hear people say it also promises 3 support in all the other suits, which is true. But you kind of like to have a 4-card major here. You kind of like to have a doubleton in diamonds. We basically have a balanced hand, and we're telling our partner that we have support for anything they bids, and likely he's going to bid a major, and you're not going to have support. You're going to have a 7-card fit, right? May do the job, may not. Both tables doubled, so you all go to the same school. Whoops. Let me do this again. Pass, 1 diamond, double. Now listen, over a double, North has a bid. Okay, if we use redouble and 2 no trump as support bids, 2 no trump is a support bid, and redouble saying I have 10 or more points or 9 or more points, that means that any other bid that we have is non-forcing. Okay, so that means that we can bid 2 clubs here, and you don't want to go to the 2 level unless you have a 6-card suit or you're at such a good 5-card suit that you're happy with it. But he could stick in at 2 clubs here. I think East should still bid, though, with 7 points. There's no sense not competing. Partners promised support for you, so you bid your hearts, and then it's just a matter of whether South wants to go to 3. They got a pretty nice hand, right? They're missing a king of diamonds. They're missing a couple spades, a couple hearts. Are in the red, do you think? And you got a defense to hearts. You're feeling pretty good about defending hearts. So maybe you pass that. All right. Passes out. So what do you bid? What do you lead here? I don't think you want to lead a heart, right? You're kind of hoping that they're going to run out of hearts before you do, right? All you need to do is get the person who maybe has 5. There's no promise anybody has 5 here. Sitting here looking at nothing, the opening leader could think that the suit is split 4-4-4-1, fairly easy, right? Which means we have a chance at getting control of the trump, and we don't want to waste that, especially since one of the things that's nice to have when you're trying to get control of the trump is to have a long suit with lots of winners. So I think a diamond is the right lead. Now, it doesn't, in this case, it's one of the cardinal sins of bridge is to underlead an ace, okay, at a suit contract. So you don't lead a smaller. You could hit the king of diamonds stiff in somebody's hand and never get a diamond trick. Don't do that. You lead a diamond. Now this is very cool because what happens is North sees an opportunity, and they should throw that king of diamonds right under there, all right? Chances are partner is leading from ace, queen, jack. And indeed they are. And now we get 2 diamond tricks. Okay. Now what to lead? Right? Well, we know we can see the dummy. We can see the 13th diamond in the dummy. Right? So we can make East rough. Now, and also we've got a little bit of hope now that East only had 4 hearts. Right? At least since we've seen that dummy only has 3. So now we can actually get control of the heart suit by making them rough again. All right. Now we have more trump than they do, right? And we also have our partner still has 2 trump, and we have this potential cross rough. This is not going to go well for East, and they are in fact down 1. Which is how it came out at the table. It didn't come out of the table. The defense didn't get all their tricks and 2 made. But very interesting hand and well worth looking at again for the defense. I don't know that bidding needed to go much further. It's possible that South had a diamond bid left. And it's just sitting with all those hearts. It's hard not to think about. Yeah, let's see what happens. So when 1 diamond, went double, he stuck in a club bid, bid their hearts, we said 3 diamonds, and it passes out. So how does this look? I mean, the other way we were making 50. We set them 1. So turns out our diamonds are solid. We got 6 diamond tricks, and we got the ace of hearts. And I don't know, not much more after that. We might be able to, I don't think we're setting up our clubs. It's going to be hard to get a spade. Yeah, so it's probably down 2. So in this case, passing was the way to go. But you got to play the defense to back it up. All right, so board 3, and I agree with someone who said this was a freaky hand, right? And I think one of the tables got into it, and they ended up playing 3 diamonds, and the North doubled and down 1. And the other table played 1 spade, making 4, right? So it goes pass and 1 spade, and I think that it's worth noting just how good West's hand is. I mean, it's an 18-point hand with no red suit losers. Right? It's got 4 losers in the black suit. Right? This is a great hand. It needs some help, a little bit of help in trump, but that's about it. Now, if North passes, maybe it's an 11-point hand, and they might just decide that that's not good enough to bid to make a 2-level overcall. I think the suit makes up for any lack of points, and I would get in there. Bid 2 diamonds. This person, of course, will pass there, the hand with nothing except this lousy 6-card heart suit, which turns out to be fabulous. And I think that South is stuck a little bit. They got 10 points, and they have to advance. I mean, they literally have no choice, but they can't bid 2 no trump with those 3 lousy hearts. I think I trust my partner will have a 6-card diamond suit or a really good diamond suit to make a 2-level overcall. And so my 3 diamond bid here is just simply invitational. I have some support for your diamonds. I can help in game. And I think this is an important bid because we're never looking for a diamond game. We're never looking for club games, ever. Okay? We settle for those when somebody puts a gun to our head, but we're not going to bid them freely, looking for them. Okay? So at this stage of the game, we're still looking for no trump. So I think I bid 3 diamonds here, just to say we have some diamonds, and I have a reason to think we may have no trump game, but I can't bid no trump, right? And I think North will think that's because of spades, when it's actually because of hearts, but it doesn't really matter in this auction because I think that West should be aggressive. He's got a great hand in the red, right? And I think I bid 4 clubs, which basically makes your partner put it in spades. So I don't know if it's obvious off of this auction. I think that I would lead a trump. I think a trump is the right lead here. And I think that's because we've seen that opener has got a big 2-suited hand, right? And that there's a really good chance that this is going to come down to some roughing. So I think we should try to get rid of the roughs as soon as possible. So I think that the spade lead, which is the killer lead, just for the reasons I said, because it cuts down the roughs, is the right lead. The other table, the table that made 4, they didn't get off to the spade lead, I don't think, and they did make 4. But this would have been an interesting hand. Swings the other way, as it turns out, because 3 diamonds double did not do well. So, interesting hand, and as one player said at the table. All right, so this one was board 4 was a game. I don't know that it should have gotten a game, and after it got there, it should have got set. We had a nice hand in the East. We get a spade bid here, and the team that got the game East figured this was good enough. I think it's a lot closer call between whether it's just a 2-spade lead raise as opposed to a 3-spade or 4-spade raise. Let's see game here. I think I would, we got 15 points. We got a really nice heart suit. Maybe your partner has a couple spade honors. So let's invite, but we want our partner to be at the top end of their range. Right? And that will pass out at 3, which is a makeable contract. But it gets to 4 by jumping straight there. And all North-South have to do, this is how it starts. This goes to the king. Right? Remember that the West hand is unseen. Right? West is playing this hand. Okay. So to South, they can see lots of hearts. right? They got 4 on the table in front of them. They got 4 in the dummy. They got 3 in their hand. There's only 2 left. And I think they got a reason to think that they're split. They, I don't think that we would think that West had 3 because he chose to bid the spades and play in spades rather than his partner's suit. But maybe that was because he has 5 spades. So anyways, I think that the right play here is to send back a heart. Our partner may be stiff. It's possible he has a stiff. When we send it back, we want to send back a high card. Okay, of our remaining hearts, send back a high card, telling your partner information. Every card should mean something. And this will say, I've got an entry in diamonds. Now, as it turns out, we're not going to get any roughs. That's not what this hand was about, as it turned out. Instead, North gets in with their ace, and now if they didn't have any clue what to lead now, they'd be guessing, right? Is it a diamond? Is it a club? Which would you lead? You're looking at the dummy, right? Dummy is east. Would you lead a diamond or would you lead a club? I think I'd lead through the ace, right? I don't think I'd underlead my king. Queen of diamonds. Queen of diamonds take ace of diamonds, the ace of diamonds left hand. I'm not going to lead a dime left to my own devices. I'll lead a club, which is exactly what happened at the table. But because our partner on our doubleton shot back that high card, that 8 of hearts, I know what to do now. I know where the ace of diamonds is. My partner's shown me an entry. So I just simply lead the king of diamonds. Trust my partner to have made a good signal to me. And then, with any luck at all, we catch the queen. All right? So that's why we have to get good at defense. That's partnership defense. Every card needs to mean something. And in this case, it would have been would have set that game contract, and the game contract really wasn't there, and that was the way. All right, so board 5. This one, nice little pickup for well, I can't tell from my scorecard. Somebody scored. It passed out at one table and scored at the other. Sometimes that's a good thing when you pass out, and it turns out if you hadn't passed out, the opponents wouldn't have gotten 140. But let's see, it was West that made 140 here. And let's see who should have opened, or if they should have. Certainly that's a pass. We get to East. Now, East has a 12-point hand. I've said this before. This is how I look at 12-point hands. The definition of bidding a suit and then bidding one no trump is I have a balanced 12 to 14-point hand. Right? I think that's what it means. In this case, if I open this hand one club, there's only 2 things that are likely to happen. Right? The most likely things to happen. There's 1, my partner will simply bid one no trump and I'll pass. 2, they'll bid 1 heart and I'll raise it to 2 hearts. Right? 3, they'll bid 1 spade, in which case I'll bid 1 no trump. And my 1 no trump will say I have a 12 to 14 balanced hand. I mean, I think these hands don't need as much thought as you think. I think that's an awkward way of saying, a balanced hand is 12 to 14, so when you have one, why don't you bid it? We got 5, 6, 7, 11 points here. Want to try a diamond overcall? I think so. And then we'll get 1 spade. 6, 8. Am I advancing? I think I might venture 2 diamonds with 8 points. My partner should have 5, right? And then, lo and behold, we get to use a support double. Now, a support double is a 5th seat bid, right? I'm counting from the first one to bid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th seat to bid. In other words, it's the opener's rebid. That's the only time this comes up. No other point do you use the support double. And it says I have 3 support. Right? That's to help cover for the fact that we don't know exactly how many spades our partner has. So we bid show 3 support, right? And that's probably the end of the auction. Gets to 2 spades. I don't think that he's got 10 points. Not lots of losers though. I mean, he might try. He might invite, but our partner's not going to have anything to do with that, right? So we should be able to get 3 spades, which I think makes. It's what the other table made though. So reward to East-West for opening that 12-point hand, flat 12-point hand, 12 to 14. Nothing mysterious about that one. Plus the fact that if you don't open it, you're just relying on fate. Okay, so board 6. Something to keep in mind. Look at North's hand. North has a really nice hand. 19 points. 7, 8. Yes, this is how slow I count. 6, 11, 12, and 7 is 19 points. So North, I hate getting 19-point hands in the last seat because you're not going to get to open that. Somebody's going to do something stupid in front of you, and you're going to have to do something, overcall or double. But at least when you have 19 points, you know one thing. You were never making an overcall. Period. Right? With a maximum hand, the bid in front of you, you got to double first. Right? And that way, when you then bid again, you have told your partner that you have a strong hand. So here it goes pass, pass. I think this is interesting. West's hand is 5, 6, and 6, 12-point hand, right? But not as easy to bid as the 12-point hand that we saw before, and that's because it's unbalanced. But because it's unbalanced, this 12-pointer, we're going to open it anyways. But notice that if we open 1 diamond and our partner bids 1 spade, what do we bid next? We can't bid 2 hearts. It's not that strong. It's just a nice hand. It's not a reversing hand. So, and hoping our partner will bid hearts or support our diamonds. Anyways, they both opened, and which brings us to the point of this hand, is that North and South will get to game if North doubles. But if North does not double here, right, if they make any kind of overcall, then they won't get there. Double, right? And what we're going to do, we call it double and correct. So double, this person's not going to bid, and I think that South will kick up a spade here for it. And now we need a raise. We need to say something here that says, partner, the double here means 0 to 8 points. Most people say 0 to 7 points, right? And North is just looking for for South to be at the top of the range. So that's what you do. You invite. You say, bid something for me. If you're not over there with a crap hand, make a bid here. If you're at the top of your range, go to game. Which is what happened at the table. And this is well bid hand. And the double just is a way of announcing how strong we are. Let's say that this had passed to North, right? Now they've got this 19 balanced point hand, right? They're going to bid 1 club, right? And then everybody's going to bid something over that. They skip right over those diamonds. Don't show that diamond suit. When you got 5 points, you don't want to be bidding diamonds. Bid your spade. You might only bid once, right? Okay. And now with 19 points, where are you going, right? You're bidding 4 spades. It's sort of the same idea. We have to have a way to show strength, right? And usually we're doing that by just how high we bid, right? Or whether we're using new suits to force. But when people have bid in front of us, we need to make a double and then correct it to show just how strong we are. All right, so this is kind of a funny hand. It's like both East just decided to shoot themselves in the foot at the same time. I don't quite get this. I think that this is some sort of misunderstanding of the purpose of the law of total tricks or something. We get a 1 spade overcall. What does a 1 spade overcall show? Right? I mean, you could be overcalling for a lead. You could be overcalling just to get in the way. You could be overcalling because you think you have a game or a part score. You could think it's your hand, right? But here we have a 10-point hand with aces, ace-jack. Right? This is a good, solid overcall. It's not necessarily a game-going hand, though, right? So if your overcalls promise, 6 to 16 points or something like that, 7 to 16 points, I don't think you can make any assumptions just because you happen to have 12 points at 5 spades, especially when this hand passes, right? Because now we know that either our partner has a lot of points, right, and we definitely have a game, or South has a lot of points and our partner made a weak overcall, right? Because North can't muster up a bid. Right? So we could figure they have less than 10 points, maybe less than 8 points. So where do we go with our bid? Well, since there's a possibility that our partner has the points, right, why don't we just make a control bid, right? This is because we haven't bid yet, it means invitational or better. Invitational or better with sport, with spades. So now our partner can tell us what type of hand he had, right? And he has 10 points, right? 2 and jacks. He's not terribly excited, but he doesn't want you to think he has an opening hand, right? If you had an opening hand here, you would make some sort of invitation, right? But you don't have an opening hand, so you bid 2 spades. And lo and behold, we buy the contract for 2 spades and we make a positive score, right? At the tables, both tables down 1. Both tables jump straight to 4 spades on the basis, I assume, of having 5 spades. Maybe this is a memo I didn't get. Okay, and so this is the last hand, and just a matter of how you get to 4 hearts. North just grabbed the bull by horn at one table and bid 4 hearts. I mean, they got 15 points. It's a little on the high side for a preemptive, 4-heart bid. Although they think they can make 4 hearts too, but they're relying on a little bit of chance to get them there, right? They could easily lose. Have the ace-king club sitting to their right, and the ace of spades and the ace of diamonds sitting on opposite them as well. I mean, this is not by any means a guaranteed hand. Might be a little strong for that. Might be a little strong for a 4-heart bid. But I'm not just kind of waiting to make sure my partner has a pulse, I think, and then I'm going to bid 4 hearts. 6, 7, 8, not really strong enough to make an overcall. We've got 7, 5, 12, 13 points, right? So we get 1 spade bid here. Pass. We know our partner has some points now. We're not really interested in spades, and sometimes we're not really willing to have a conversation. Maybe that's just the way I feel sometimes when I jump straight to 4 hearts. It's like, yes, I know we could sit and you could tell me about your suits and I could tell you about my suit, and we could bid a few times back and forth. Other times, especially if it's the last hand of the match, and you haven't played one for a while, you just bid 4 hearts. That's a perfectly reasonable way to bid, I think. Not really. To 4 hearts. The other team, other table bid back and forth a little bit, eventually getting to 4 hearts, and it's not hard to make. So that's the match. It was lots and lots of swings. I'm not sure that meant we were playing all that well or making the right bids all the time, but there's certainly a lot to learn from it, and it was exciting, right? And it's fun. That's what makes it fun. Lots and lots of swings. I don't know if you all see the barometer when you're play or not. But it was a good barometer game for the keepers. Big swing, back, very enjoyable. So, thank you.